I didn't hear what you said. Sis, come closer. What'd you say?
I thought you wear pants. You can wear pants like zippers and buttons. That's what I know.
Nah, let's go to Deuteronomy 22 and 5. Deuteronomy 22 and 5. How long have you known you was an Israelite, sis?
For a few years now.
For a few years now? Okay. So, all right. Deuteronomy 22 and 5. Read that.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22, verse 5. The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth to a man.
So now, you understand that that's talking about pants, right?
Yeah, I thought it was like pants like zippers and, you know.
Well, no. Keep reading.
Neither shall a man put on a woman's garment. For all.
So, I'm sorry, cut you off. But if I was standing up here writing a dress, would you be listening to me? If the dress had zippers on it in the back, if the dress had whatever kind of dress, would you be taking me serious? No. When we seen Russell Westbrook, was we taking that serious? No. So let's read it again from the top. Look, sis, it don't say nothing about zippers and buttons or nothing like that. Pants were never meant for a woman. What you got on right now is called an undergarment. That's what our sisters used to wear under their dress. You know why pants? You know why the white women started with pants? She's rebelling against her man in the in the 1800s, right? When they was rebelling, why were they rebelling? Because our sisters had shape. They would have the dresses on with the corset that had the hips that come off the side. That was to imitate you. But while they were doing that, they was walking around. It was hard for them. They was breaking their ankles. It was hard for them to carry because they were trying to make this tight and they were trying to make this wide. That's what they was doing. That's where the women, they had a problem with it. So then they started rebelling against their man in the 1800s. And they said, we don't want to wear the dress no more. We want to wear pants. We want to wear what you wear. It's more comfortable. Our women never had a problem with wearing a dress. Never. In the slave field, they were picking cotton in a dress. They used to take care of the house in a dress. There's nowhere in the Bible where you read where it's pants or button. No, because guess what you're doing right now? I don't know if you was here earlier when the officer brought out about the thoughts of our mind is continually evil. When you put on pants, you know what you're doing? You know what the mindset of it is behind wearing leggings? To show off your shape. Tell me I'm lying.
I just think they're comfortable. Like, they're comfortable.
Okay, you're comfortable, but why do a lot of women, when they put on the leggings, when they go out, it's to show off their shape? Whether you believe it or not right now. Now, you've been following for a few years, so you know that you are a daughter of Sarah. You know that you're a princess, rightfully so, right? So why as a princess, what queen or princess have you ever seen wear pants, come out and show their figure? Name one. You can't name one, right? We got to change our mindset and come back to royalty, right? Deuteronomy chapter 10 and verse 12. Because you know better now, right? You've been knowing. Who you watch?
JUIC, I think it's Brothers of Israel or something like that.
Brothers of Israel and JUIC? Okay, do you congregate?
No, not really. I just watch them on YouTube.
So you just watch YouTube. Okay, give me Deuteronomy chapter 10 and verse 12. Watch this, sis.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 10 and verse 12. And now, Israel, what doth the Lord thy God require of thee?
So what's your name, sis? Mahogany. So sis, Moses is right. He said, what does the Lord require of us knowing that we're Israel? Because we know that we're Israel, right? You know your tribe. You Judah. You know that you Judah, right? That's more than what 90% of people out here already understand. You understand more than 90% of people. So what does God require of you now? Read.
But to fear the Lord thy God, to walk in all his ways.
To walk in all his ways. What's his ways? How do we know what's the Lord's ways? If I was to ask you.
Like the commandments?
Yeah. What's the...
You gotta follow the Sabbath.
No, I'm saying, what's the Lord's ways? The commandments, right?
Yeah.
All the commandments, right? That's his ways and how he thinks of us, right? It says to what? Read it again.
But to fear the Lord thy God.
To fear him.
To walk in all his ways.
To keep all his commandments.
And to love him.
To love him. How do you love God?
How do you show yourself that we love God? By following his commandments. So right now, at the read of Deuteronomy 22 and 5, do you love God?
I guess I could say I failed to love him correctly because I love him better.
You failed. Okay, I give you the benefit of the doubt. You didn't understand the scripture correctly, right? But that's why you have to come in and congregate amongst like-minded people. Because you said you keep the Sabbath, right? Yeah. I'm going to show you that you don't keep the Sabbath. Give me Exodus. And this ain't to tear you down. This is give you understanding so that you know. You understand? Because in that day, we're not going to have an excuse of why we weren't doing what was required of us. Understand? Give me that Exodus chapter 20.
Verse 8.
Verse 8.
Exodus chapter 20 and verse 8. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord.
What day is the Sabbath, sis? Saturday, right? Do you work on Saturdays? You don't work on Saturdays, okay? That's good. So 6 days you labor, the 7th day you off. Let's get some more statutes about how we keep the Sabbath. What are we supposed to do on the Sabbath to keep it? Give me Leviticus 23 and verse 2. We're going to find out how we're supposed to keep the Sabbath righteous. So that's one way. We don't work. We understand that, right? You don't do that. Good. Let's see if you do this. Read.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 23 and verse 2. Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, concerning the feast of the Lord, which ye shall proclaim to be a holy convocation. Even these are my feasts. 6 days shall work be done, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of rest.
So the Sabbath, you're supposed to be having a convocation. You're supposed to gather amongst like-minded people. You're supposed to be amongst a congregation on that day. Do you do that, sis? That's something that you didn't know. It's okay if you didn't know.
I mean, mom, like, she didn't put me on, like, there's no
She put you on. Okay, so you have to be amongst like-minded people because there's questions that you're going to have. There's understanding that you had about the pants that you said a button and a zipper. But are you around other sisters that's been doing this for a long time? You're not. So you don't have a counselor. How? You got to ask yourself. Like when you have questions about this Bible, because we're always going to have questions. I've only been in the truth for about 3 years, but I have these men that's been in the truth longer than me. You understand? So when I don't have questions, I need understanding. I have counselors. I have men above me that are able to give me understanding. Right? Right? So you gotta understand, like that's keeping the Sabbath part of it, not buying, and then congregating. Do you cook? Not on the Sabbath? Why not?
Because that's like considered working.
It's not considered working.
I thought you weren't supposed to cook on a Sabbath, like you're supposed to do like the day before.
Yeah, you're supposed to boil. You're supposed to make what you're supposed to make the day before. Exodus 16 and 23. Exodus 16 and 23. Then I'm gonna go back into what you need to do. Okay.
Actually, I'm making bread. I got food in the car. Can I come back?
1 second. What Psalms 119 and 60. Because you know these commandments, right? And you've heard them, right? So what must you do? What I've showed you what's required of you, knowing that we're Israel. Because guess what? We above 90. Like I said, 98. I'll say 99% of people out here don't even know who they are. They're the walking dead according to the Bible. You have a life. What I'm just trying to teach you to get you to the next level. Because every day we're supposed to die and grow. So Psalms 119 and 60. Now that you know this is what you must do. Watch.
The book of Psalms, chapter 119 and verse 60. I made haste and delay not to keep thy commandments.
So when we hear these commandments, we supposed to make haste and don't delay to keep it. Because what is sin? What does sin bring us? Romans 6:23. What is it? What happens to us when we in the midst of sin? Because right now you have a little life in you, right? We have a post. You have a post because you know enough, right? That post can be taken away like that. Sis, you don't go to the club and stuff. The Bible says when you have this understanding, you turn your back on it. When you don't want to keep His commandments, He will take His understanding from you. He'll take it from you. You'll be out here just like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? You'll be out here like that, just back to what we was. Read.
Watch this. This is what sin is.
The book of Romans, chapter 6 and verse 23. But I see another law in my members, worrying. 6:23. For the wages of sin is death.
The wages of being in sin is death, sis. Did you read when we read about the pants? It said all they do so are an abomination, right? Revelation 21 and 8. This is just healthy fear. Remember what it says to fear Him? This fear is good because this is what is going to be in your mind whenever you got to go get those dresses. And you got to put fringes on. Where are your fringes? You don't have any? That's another commandment. Watch this. Revelation 21 and 8.
The book of Revelation, chapter 21 and verse 8. But the fear and the unbelieving and the abomination.
So the fearful, it says the fearful and unbelieving. When we don't keep these commandments in the sight of the nations, God says we're fearful when we do that. And unbelieving, because believing is keeping the commandments, right? Now watch, read.
And murderers, and whoremongers, and scoffers.
So murderers, whoremongers, all these people out here living this life and thinking that's the way, meaning God's not going to judge me. Watch, read.
And scorners, and idolaters, and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death.
Read it from the top again. But fearful,
But the fearful
and unbelieving.
and unbelieving and the abominable.
Go back, abominable. Go back to Deuteronomy 22:5. Now watch, it said abominable, right? I want to show you. We didn't get finished reading the scripture. Read, come on. Deuteronomy chapter 22 and verse 5. I know you got to go, sis, but I want you to hear this. Because that fear is what keeps us going. It's what keeps us in the commandments. Deuteronomy chapter 22 and verse 5. Hey, y'all got a question? Y'all got a question? Read.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22 and verse 5. The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man.
Right, because pants was given to us, given to the man, you know what I'm saying? Read.
Neither shall a man put on a woman's garment.
You're not supposed to put on a woman's garment. We're not cross-dressing is what it's called. Read.
For all that do so are abomination unto the Lord thy God.
God says when you do that, you're an abomination. Go back to Revelation 21 and verse 8. Because we once, it wasn't that commandment, but there was commandments that we were in where God called us abominable too. But we made haste. Read.
Revelation 21 and verse 8. But the fearful and unbelieving and the abominable and murderers and whoremongers and scorners and idolaters and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death.
Meaning, guess what? You're going to die in this life, and you're going to die again spiritually if he comes back when he catches Zephaniah 1 and 8. Last one. If he catches you like that, sis, remember he says he's going to come as a thief in the night, right? He's only going to come to a thief in the night to those that are not watching and to those that are not keeping their commandments. He's going to catch you in the midst of your sin, and you are going to be in the lake of fire. People say, I don't believe God's going to judge me for that. We just read it, didn't we? You're going to have your part in the lake. Zephaniah chapter 1 and verse 8. Read.
Zephaniah chapter 1 and verse 8. And it shall come to pass in the day of the Lord's sacrifice.
This is a prophecy now. It says, it shall come to pass. Because you know that you Israel, because your mother showed you Deuteronomy 28, right? All those curses came to pass, correct? So just like those came to pass, it says, this too shall surely come to pass. Read.
That I will punish the princes and the king's children and all such as are clothed with strange apparel.
All that are clothed with strange apparels, meaning whenever he comes back, you're not in your dress. And that man, he's not in his pants. That's strange apparel to a man. We didn't roll like that. 1 Timothy 2 and 9. This is how you roll. I told you all that. I can see the fear in your face. I told you all that. Now I want to tell you something to build you up. How are you supposed to carry yourself? 1 Timothy 2 and 9. Then I'll let you go. I promise.
The book of 1 Timothy, chapter 2 and verse 9. In like manner also, the women adorn themselves in modest apparel.
You beautify yourself in modest apparel, sis, because you might not think that you wearing those pants, well, they're just comfortable to me. But when you go into these laundromats, when you go into these restaurants, the mall, brothers ain't looking at you because it's comfortable. They looking at you because of your shape. And they no longer want to know what's inside of you. I just want what's your body. That's all I want. Read it again.
In like manner also, the women adorn themselves in modest apparel.
You adorn yourself, you beautify yourself in modest apparel. Read.
Bring it out.
With shamefacedness and sobriety.
With shamefacedness and sobriety, meaning you're not out here drunk, you're not out here off the pills and stuff like that. Sobriety, and also sobriety of mind, because you said you listen to two different camps. That's confusion. That's not being sober. One camp might say one thing and another, and you'll just end up having questions, no answers, right? That's sobriety of the mind. Read.
Not with braided hair or gold or pearls or costly array.
So what beautifies the woman isn't the weave, the eyelashes, the gold, the broidered, the hairdo. God says don't beautify yourself with the outward things. Read.
But which becometh women professing godliness with good works.
What professing godliness is your inner woman. The works that you're doing, you keeping the commandments is what beautifies you in the sight of the Lord. It's what beautifies you in the sight of godly men. Not these niggas running around here. They don't want to marry you and take care of you. They want a baby mama and they want to be at home with their mama. They not trying to build nothing with you.
Break it out.
That's rare. What you see out here, us men with these fringes, is rare for you to see men that want to take care of their households and have a woman that they're going to stay with for life.
That's right.
And how do we get that? All from following the commandments of the Bible. Watch this. Read that again for the sister.
1 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 9. In like manner also, the woman adorn themselves in modest apparel.
Adorn yourself in modest apparel, since we're talking about wearing a dress. You understand? I seen you had a situation with your husband, right? God says, listen, that's your boyfriend, ain't it? That's your boyfriend? That's not your husband? You know what the Bible calls that? Adultery. But I'm gonna deal with you. Let me finish with this, sister. I'm gonna deal with you, all right? Read.
Adorn themselves in modest apparel, with shamefacedness and sobriety, and not with braided hair or gold or pearls or costly array.
It's not saying that you don't take care of yourself. It's not saying don't do that. It's saying don't hang your hat on that. Don't be known for that woman that I always look good, but on the inside you a demon. It's saying profess the godly works, which you know to do. Is what should you do today? Go get you a dress. Learn. Do you know anybody that knows how to put fringes on? You don't. That's a perk of congregating amongst godly women. You're gonna have sisters that can teach you how to sew to put fringes in a border of blue on your dress. You understand? All right, sis. I'm gonna leave you with that. That's 1 Timothy 2 and 9. Mahogany. Get you a flyer. You got one? All right, address is on the back. We congregate on the Sabbath at 3 o'clock. Come to the school. You drive.
Yes.
I'm going to see you on Saturday, next Saturday. Don't say, you know what the Bible said. All right, I'm going to leave you with that, sis.
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission. Minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold. From Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are how men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.